Hello. Thank you for tuning in to the BC Liquor Store YouTube channel. My name is David Wolowidnyk. I'm a spirit educator, an award-winning bartender, and the resident cocktail stylist of Taste Magazine. I'm really looking forward to Thanksgiving, fall 2021. You see, it's been a while since we've been able to gather with friends and family, and I'm truly thankful for that. This year, I want to do something just a little bit different. Instead of pairing the evening with wine, I'm going to pair it with cocktails. I've created 3 special cocktails that you'll see in the magazine, the first of which is a reception cocktail to greet people with, called Gratitude. It will pair beautifully with appetizers and hors d'oeuvres. The second is a cocktail specifically designed to pair with your traditional Thanksgiving dinner. And that one is called Thankfulness. Lastly, I want to count my blessings, and I've called this digestive cocktail Fall Blessings. Instead of using a whiskey as an old-fashioned, today I want to use brandy, specifically Calvados. This is an apple brandy from the north of France, and it is an intense aromatic of apples. Well, let me show you just how simple this is to make. I'm going to start off with roughly half a teaspoon of brown sugar. I love that rich, round flavor profile that the brown sugar lends to this cocktail. Now, next I'm going to take a knife and slice off a nice bit of that lemon peel. I don't want the pith on the back side of that, so I'll very carefully take my knife, lay it flat on the cutting board, and slice that pith away. Now I can take that lemon zest and express the oils down over top of that sugar. We'll take a couple dashes of bitters. For this one, I wanted to use Angostura bitters because it's got a note of allspice, clove, and cinnamon, all of which pair beautifully with apples. A couple of dashes of that, and a tiny bit of water. You don't need a lot. Maybe a quarter ounce, which is about 7.5 mils. You can approximate that, just a tiny little bit. Now, the reason why I want to add the little bit of water is because the sugar will dissolve more easily into water than it will alcohol. Now, let's pour in 2 ounces, which is 60 mils, of this fine Père Magloire VS. Now give that a little swirl around to get all of the sugars, etc., all mixed together with that spirit. And now I just want to let that sit for just a moment. Now I want to put a cold cocktail into a cold glass. So one way to do that is take a few ice cubes, put it into the glass, and top it off with just a little bit of water. This will allow that glass to cool off a little bit while you're mixing up the cocktail. Now, one of the reasons why I want to let this sit just for a little bit is because I want the alcohol to pull out some of the flavor, the oils from that lemon peel. And it also gives a chance for all of the components, the bitters and the sugar, to kind of work themselves into that spirit. You can swirl it around a little bit if you wish, to kind of speed up that process. You know, a minute or 2 is all you really need, and it'll have the ability of pulling out all those flavors and bringing them together. So now let's add a little bit of ice to this mixing glass, and we'll stir. As you can see, I'm not filling the mixing glass right up with ice. You don't really need to. The ice only just needs to come in contact with the spirit, with the cocktail. And as you've probably heard me say before, if you don't have a fancy bar spoon, don't worry about it. You can use a chopstick or anything, any sort of a stick, just like the end of this spoon, to spin it around, right? I like the way that this spoon follows the glass, so I'm going to use that end. And I'm chilling and diluting. You might be able to see on the camera how the outside of that mixing glass is frosting up just a little bit. It smells great. Now, this glass will have chilled a little. Now, one of the main reasons why you want to put a cold cocktail in a cold glass is because that chilled cocktail will slightly warm up if that glass is at room temperature. And we don't really want that glass to be stealing some of the chill that that cocktail has now obtained. We'll add a little bit of fresh ice to that glass. And give this another little stir. And one of the reasons why we add fresh ice to that glass is because we wanted to steal some of that thermal energy from this ice. That ice has warmed up a little bit and will start to melt more quickly. That ice is a little colder because it's fresh. This way we pour the cold cocktail over cold ice in a cold glass, and it will slow down the dilution rate. Straining that over the new ice. There we go. And I want to appropriately garnish this cocktail with some apple. So we'll take a slice off, a few rounds, take those and I'll stack them up again, and then I'll just simply cut some nice strips, a julienne, if you will, of apple. Now, this way I can creatively toss the apple over top of the cocktail, and there you have it. This is Fall Blessings. It's a delicious digestive cocktail, spirit forward. It will help you digest after that feast of Thanksgiving you just had, and it will also pair beautifully with your desserts. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe below and pick up Taste Magazine, the fall issue of 2021, for this recipe and many more. Look forward to seeing you again soon.